Welcome to the Here's My Story channel. I'm Annie. My dad barged into my room. He was holding something that looked like a bird cage. "Give me your phone!" he roared. "What's going on, Dad?" I asked, shocked. He opened his palm. "Annie, I said give me your phone. It's time you learned a lesson." I handed him my phone. He took and placed it inside the cage. Then he went on to put a padlock on the cage door and locked my phone inside. "I'm not taking your phone away from you. It'll be here, right in front of your eyes. But you won't be able to use it. You can only watch it from a distance. I hope it's a good lesson for you, and you'll stay away from that trash site called TikTok," he said, smirking. My mom appeared at my door. "Walter, I'm sick and tired of your lessons. I know you've never even seen Annie's TikTok page. She shares wonderful videos there. I don't know why you want to stop her from doing that." My dad got upset. "You don't have the slightest idea about parenting. Kids should always obey their parents, especially their fathers. I told Annie she couldn't post anything on social media, but she didn't listen to me, so I'm teaching her a little lesson. As a father, it's my duty to show her what's right." We knew there was no point in arguing with my father. My mom rolled her eyes and left the room. My dad always saw himself as our boss. He interfered with my life every chance he got. If I didn't obey his rules, he would give some kind of punishment and always say, "I hope you learned your lesson." Once, I spilled some juice on myself while eating dinner. My mom said, "Honey, go and change your pants." Since I was still eating, I replied, "Mom, I'll change them after dinner." Suddenly, my dad was mad. "What do you mean you'll change them after dinner? When your mother tells you to do something, you have to do it immediately. You deserve another lesson," he screamed. Do you know what my punishment was? I had to put my pants in the freezer before I wore them. They stayed there for 15 minutes. Only then could I put them on. My pants were frozen. My dad said, "I hope you learned your lesson," as my teeth chattered. His only issue with TikTok was the fact that I didn't respect his command. If he had only checked out my TikTok page, he probably would have loved my videos. I was posting videos about stress management with titles like 5 tips to reduce stress. Even though I didn't have that many followers, I liked making content people my age could use. But unfortunately, I couldn't make my videos anymore because my phone was locked in a cage in my room. One day, my mom came into my room, hugged me, and said, "I'm proud of you. I ran into a friend today. She had her daughter with her. She said she was following you on TikTok. She took the SATs twice, but her results weren't that good. Then she overcame her anxiety thanks to your videos and got a really high score. Honey, you have to keep making TikTok videos. What you're doing matters. I'm not going to let your father stop you from doing this." I was surprised to see my mom take out the latest iPhone from her handbag. "Mom, this is a really expensive phone. How are you able to afford it?" I asked. "Don't worry about that. I borrowed some money from my company. They set up a payment plan for me," she replied. I was so moved. I gave her a huge hug and thanked her. Thanks to my mom, I began doing videos again. I got inspired by the reaction of my mom's friend's daughter and shot a series on test anxiety. Since it was finals week, they got a ton of views. I got more than 100,000 followers. I was getting thousands of followers every day. After the test anxiety videos, I started doing a series on coping with parents. I knew a lot about this topic thanks to my dad. They were each viewed hundreds of thousands of times. The day I passed 1 million followers, my mom took me out to dinner to celebrate. She invited the friend she told me about, and her daughter too. Her daughter ordered a huge cake with a sign that said, "Happy 1 million followers" on it. I got so emotional as I was blowing the TikTok logo-shaped candle that I cried. It was one of the best moments of my life so far. Unfortunately, something horrible happened the next day. My mom's friend took a picture of me as I was blowing out the candle. Someone shared it on her Instagram account without telling us. They captioned it as, "The famous TikToker who saved my daughter's life." A lady from my dad's office saw the post on Instagram and recognized me in the picture. She went to him and said congratulations. So my dad found out that I'd been secretly making TikTok videos. He was so mad when he came home that night that he was practically blowing fire from his nose. "I'm ashamed of you! I'm gonna teach you such an important lesson that you're gonna regret making secret videos behind my back!" I could no longer keep my silence. "Dad, I did nothing to be ashamed of. Let me show you my videos. Do you think acquiring 1 million followers is easy? If you read the comments under my videos, you'll see how my content actually helps people," I said. That made him even more furious. It means nothing to me that you have 1 million trash followers on that trash site. I can see that you're not feeling bad about keeping your videos a secret from me at all. I need to teach you an even bigger lesson, he said. He took a deep breath. I'm going to disown you! You don't deserve to be my daughter! He screamed at the top of his lungs. The walls of the apartment shook from the sheer intensity of his voice. I wasn't expecting that. What? Dad, you're disowning me? I said to make sure I was hearing this right. Yes, you had this coming, he answered. I was devastated, and I burst into tears. My mom hugged me, trying to calm me down. Then she turned to my dad. Annie didn't do anything wrong. She is not a kid that deserves this kind of treatment. I'm proud of my daughter. My dad's face was red with fury. Then take your daughter and get out of this house. I don't want to see either of you, he said, pointing with his finger towards the door. That's exactly what we need to do anyway, my mom said calmly. She packed a suitcase for each of us. We moved out immediately and went to my grandmother, who lives on the other side of town. Our life changed in an instant. We were devastated, but there was nothing we could do. We simply had to adapt to our new life. Grandma's apartment was tiny. My mom and I were sharing a room. The only thing that made me happy was to create videos for my followers. However, it was hard for me to make stress management videos for them while going through a really hard time myself. 2 months passed. My dad never called us. I'm sure he thought he was teaching both of us a good lesson. One evening, my mom's phone rang. A woman said, I'm calling from the hospital. Your husband was brought here today. He's in intensive care right now. I just wanted to let you know. Both my mom and I were very upset. We went to the hospital right away. The doctor came in to inform us why my dad had to be hospitalized. The results of the testing we did shows us that your husband has lost both of his kidneys. He has to stay here and live the rest of his life on dialysis, he said. He paused and then went on. However, his insurance doesn't cover a long hospital stay like this. The bill is $400,000. Do you have the funds available to pay that amount? Unfortunately, no, my mom answered. In that case, we need to discharge him after 30 days, which is how long we're obligated to care for him legally, he responded before leaving us there. But he won't be able to survive if he leaves the hospital, I told my mom. My mom nodded. We hugged each other and cried for a long time. In spite of everything, he was my father. It hurt me so much that I couldn't do anything for him. We were going through a tough time. It was impossible for us to find $400,000. Time flew by. There were 2 days left until my dad had to be discharged. I had to talk about it, so I shot a video and uploaded it to TikTok. I told the story of what happened to my dad. I ended the video with, when people feel desperate, they find solace in being with those closest to them. You are my people. Thank you for listening. I got thousands of messages from my followers. I was so moved by the amount of compassion I felt from them. I wrote to each and every one and thanked them. Why don't you start a fundraising campaign for your father? Everyone will donate as much as they can. Then you'll have some money for his medical expenses, a follower wrote. This became the top comment. Thousands of people replied to it, urging me to start a campaign. It was impossible to raise $400,000, but my followers insisted on it so much that I set up an account on a crowdsourcing platform. Then I did a video about the fundraising campaign. I was so emotional. I want to thank each one of you. I'm so glad you exist, I said with tears in my eyes. 5 minutes after posting the video, donations started pouring in. My follower base was mostly students, so the donations were around $5 to $10. But so many people donated that within 24 hours, we hit our first target of $400,000. My mom had no idea about what had happened. She was elated when she found out and also very moved. You are keeping your father alive, she said. That was the last day of my dad's hospital stay. They were going to discharge him the next morning. We went to the hospital right away. We told them that we found the necessary amount for him to stay, so he didn't have to leave. They brought him into a room and connected him to a special dialysis machine. He was so happy to see us when we walked into his room. Then his eyes moved down on the floor. It looked like he was embarrassed about what he did. It was difficult for him to speak, but he did it anyway. The nurses told me everything. I'm alive thanks to the donations from your TikTok followers. I'm grateful to them. They taught me a lesson I will remember as long as I live, he said. Then he looked at me. Of course, I'm more grateful to you, my dear girl. I don't deserve to be the father to an angel like you, but if you will have me, I want to remain as your father forever, he said. My mom and I were crying. I had the perfect family, but instead of being thankful for that, I made your lives harder. Please forgive me, he said. That day I did a video with my dad. When he thanked my followers, he was in tears. That one became my most wanted video. I still shoot videos for the wonderful people who saved my dad's life, and I will continue to do so as long as I can be of help to them.